Are Taliban going back on the promises they made over women's education? Tens of thousands of schoolgirls in Afghanistan are awaiting to return to class for the new term. Most older girls have been out of school since August, when the hardline Islamist movement seized the country. The Ministry of Education had said that girls above grade 6, that is aged about 13 and up, would be allowed back on March 23rd as schools reopened nationwide following the long winter break. But as the happy students arrived for their classes, they were abruptly told to return home again. Some students cried, some seethed. The Taliban said the schools would stay shut until a plan was drawn up for them to reopen in accordance with Islamic law. The group banned female education and most employment for women when they were last in power from 1996 to 2001. The international community has made the education of girls a key condition for any future recognition of the Taliban administration. Now, a number of women in Kabul have urged the Taliban to reopen schools for girls above grade 6. The call was made at a protest held by the Janbish Kodjosh Sana, Afghanistan. A generation of women is deprived of rights to education, work and social activities, said Monsia Mubaris, a women's rights activist. The closing of girls' schools shows the Taliban's lack of commitment to their promise, said Sakia Zahat, another activist. These voices of protest came as the Ministry of Education said it is optimistic about efforts to reopen schools for girls in grades 7 to 12. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Education said that the leadership of the Islamic Emirate has shown the green light for the reopening of girls' schools. Meanwhile, Deputy Special Representative of the UN Secretary General met Knudsen in a meeting with Chairman of Afghan Senate Fazl Hadi Muslimar, pressed for representative governance, the need for dialogue at all levels and access to education for girls and boys in Afghanistan. Knudsen also held a discussion with Muslimar over the role of the United Nations mission in Afghanistan, that is UNAMA in short. During the meeting with Muslimar, UNAMA's deputy head discussed representative governance and the need for dialogue at all levels. Earlier, during a briefing of the diplomatic corps on April 6th, Knudsen highlighted that the Taliban's decision to ban girls from attending secondary schools has negatively impacted the attitude of the global community towards them. The Taliban have issued a decree banning female students above grade 6 from attending their classes in schools. The girls were further told to stay home until the Islamic Emirate announces its next decision. The decision by the Islamic Emirate has drawn severe backlash across the world, with the foreign ministers of Canada, France, Italy, Norway, the United Kingdom, the United States of America and the High Representative of the European Union issuing a joint statement to condemn the Taliban's decision to deny Afghan girls the opportunity to go back to schools. Meanwhile, the envoys and representatives of the European Union, US and the European countries in a joint statement have also said that the international aid to Kabul will depend on Afghanistan's ability to ensure access to education for girls at all levels. In the joint statement, the envoys and the representatives have said that the type and scope of international donor assistance will depend, among other things, on the right and ability of girls to attend equal education at all levels. The joint statement further stressed that the progress towards normalized relations between the Taliban and the international community will depend mostly on Kabul's actions and delivery on commitments and obligations to the Afghan people and to international community. We will have to wait and see how Taliban would respond to these calls.